Wolf, can we get into this next one?
And what I also tell black women, if you're going to go get you an African man from the continent, you're going to have to understand that the way in which you talk to black men in America will not be tolerated over there.
Why the fuck is it tolerated? It's not tolerated here. That's what we're trying to tell them.
Well, over here, I want to say this to us, though, because we try to act like the way sisters treat us doesn't have a history that we are not at least partly responsible for. Let's be honest. The black woman has had to hold down the black house by herself, although imperfectly. She's had to do it by herself since the mass incarceration of black males began in the 1970s. So when a sister says, I don't need a man, because she couldn't find one strong enough to hold her down, or when you meet a woman and you say, sister, I'm strong enough to be your man. You ain't got to work or you ain't got to pay the bills or whatever. Pull back. I got you. And she can't do it because all the other men before you who disappointed her. So what I'm saying is, black men, we got to be patient with our women because we created that personality.
We have to be held accountable for their poor selection.
No, you have to be held accountable because they have a poor selection.
That clip went crazy for us, you know what I mean? As you could imagine it would, like, you know what I mean? But
Wolf, he was out of your head over
Wolf
there.
is over there snapping his fingers, like, you know what I'm saying? He put the Black Panther fist up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, I want to start on this side of the room. You know, what's your thoughts on hearing what Dr. Umar had to say?
What was it?
You need a moment?
Yes.
Okay, Lulu, we're gonna spin the block back on you. What's your thoughts?
I know.
The truth of the matter is he's 100% on. I really agree with him, and it's a shame that where we are as a society, and it's the truth what he's saying, because with the massive incarceration, men have been lacking in the household. Okay, and once they've been incarcerated and they come out, it's like they lost part of their manhood. And the way they reclaim their manhood, a lot of them are just violent or wayward. And that's not even the way to reclaim it. That's how they envisioned it, because they've been fighting in the prison system. They've been fighting for their lives, their manliness. Okay, now women, which he is correct, we've had to be the backbone because the man has been missing within a lot of the households. And a woman cannot raise a man by herself.
Exactly.
Okay? Those traits come from a man. A woman could teach her daughter to be a woman because that's what she is. But a young man needs a man to show him the backbone. I could only demonstrate, you're supposed to do this, that. I could only tell you, but I can't show you because I'm not a man. And I can't take that role. There's things that a man is meant to do, and there's things a woman is meant to do. Unfortunately, it has come to the point where women feel that they can do both. Whether you can do it both or not, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Exactly. There's a role for a man and there's a role for a woman. And we need to accept what our roles are. And play those roles.
Sounds like a Negro spiritual. Like, you know what I'm saying? What you got to say about this, Jill?
One, you're saying that we have to play our roles, and I don't know if you know what's going on in this world.
But that role
we can't. Women want to be men.
And it's not that they want to be men.
No, they want to be men.
No, well, we're talking.
That's talking about two minutes.
It's not that we want to be men. We've had, like she said, had to take on that role. Mm-hmm. We had to. Can I say that my eldest son, I was so militant on him. If I told him to stay, don't move. The boy stood there in the airport. Boy wouldn't move, wouldn't speak to nobody until I came back, because I felt like I had to do. Not that his father was in prison, but I felt that I had to, he was just not there. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to be the man and the woman, because that man shows that strength, and you do what I say. One word. I don't have to touch you.
Yes.
It's not even a word, a look. Mm-hmm. So I got that look down pat. I didn't have to, when I look and you know the move. So because he wasn't there, he didn't have that. He only had a woman's look. Man's look is totally different. So now you have these women trying to do that now and trying to be and go out and have to do everything by themselves. That's not what they signed up for, but that's the role that they've had to take. So now that there's a man who could be good, she doesn't know how to relinquish that because I'm scared. Guess what? You may leave me. So let me just hold on tight to.
I'm listening to y'all, but this is the one thing that men in my generation can say,
and that is true.
We women are more comfortable, not all, but they are more comfortable with being secure with government assistance than a man helping them in their life.
Government assistance.
Yes, listen. Let me break it down. I'm gonna break it down because if a man is in that house, they don't trust us enough to get off government assistance and let's build together.
Why don't they trust you? Because
there's a reason.
There's a reason.
That's not my fault. And this is the part that we're not understanding. I understand the ladies that went through that in that era, but the women that's in my era didn't go through what the women went through in the 70s and in the 80s. So these women that's growing up with this trauma from their mama can't be held against me because I was also raised by a single mother. You get what I'm saying? So you got to give me the same grace and understand, hey, I'm not who your father was to your mother. And you can't, we ain't going to be able to build if you got more faith in Uncle Sam than me.
But I think that if you guys are communicating,
it's no communicating.
There is. See, and that's just it. You can't chop it off right there. Yeah. You got to give it an opportunity. See, communication is key. I don't whether it's my son, and we're very close, and you guys know that. Yeah. We talk about everything from the roaches to the rats. It doesn't matter to me. I let him say what yesterday. You know the ones outside. But I allow him to say what he needs to say because that's something that I want him to take into his relationship to learn how to communicate. It's just that young people don't understand it and haven't been taught how to communicate. This texting thing that takes away from everything, right? But you got to remember, before I hear what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, but they just don't understand. So your platform here is helping get that out. Communication is key, and if any young woman wants to have a meaningful relationship, communication is key. Yep. I'll tell every couple, any person, communication is key.
Not only. Okay, when you're communicating, also you have to be your word because some people say one thing, but their actions are doing another. So if your word and your actions are lining up, it's easier for someone to see what it is or to trust in you and say, you know what, I'm gonna let go a little bit.
How often are y'all speaking to young women?
As much as I can.
As we can.
And I'm going to tell you, we can have a conversation. It's about comprehending in that conversation. And I don't think a lot of that is going on. Women, not all women, but some men use women. And some men hurt women. Yep. Right?
And some women hurt men. And vice versa.
But that part is not acknowledged. When you're a man and you're hurt, get over it. Man up, step up, shut up.
True.
You get what I'm saying? With women, they can bring up
therapy.
It don't matter.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Therapy.
It doesn't matter.
That's one of the things in the Black communities, especially men, are afraid of. Therapy. Sometimes you guys really do need therapy yourselves.
Everybody
and
needs
women,
therapy.
and women, because we are traumatized as well.
And that's why I said communication is key. I haven't gone to a therapist, but my husband, I talk to him so much, I'd be like, girl, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you know. So, and that's what I do, because sometimes it's like my best friend, my girlfriend, my best friend. So it's like, and I talk to him, and he'd be like, I know in his mind, he'd be like, damn, when she shut up, he listens. But for me, it helps me. It helps me get through some of the things that I've been through, so that he's my therapy. And if I need to go any further than that, I am no longer ashamed. You see, I said no longer because in our community, you
hold on. They hold on to
what's
things
the word? What go on in my house, stay in my house. So, and that's us. We wasn't able to go back and tell anybody, but you all, you know, have that opportunity. Yeah, you guys
like
can
they're
talk to
saying
other
too,
people.
there's a lot of women. You see a lot of young girls, I should say, young women. They have more than one child, different men, multiple partners or whatever. And it might not be that the person is incarcerated or anything, but it's just that they left. They left them with those children. And then they have to go and try and fend for them however they can. So it's not about that they want the government's help. That might be what this, that is what they're using for now. But still, they might be working, they might be going to school, trying to build themselves up because there's no man there to help them along the way. Two men already came into their life and left them there with two different children.
But this is what we was trying to say when Umar was on the episode. He was saying that we had to be responsible for the choices that they were making, the men that they were picking. If you're choosing wrong, how is that our fault? There's good men out there. You're overlooking the good men.
And we've had plenty of women on our show. And we would ask them, would you rather date a 9-to-5 hardworking average man or the scammer, the drug dealer? And you will be surprised how many women would choose
we got a whole combination of drug dealer, scammer, drug dealer. You know what I mean?
So they want quick money. That's the problem. But there's a lot with your generation. You live in the land of instantaneous. Everything has to be instant. With you guys, nobody believes in earning, working towards stuff. Because a relationship, a real relationship, takes a lot of work. It's not something that's developed.
The career takes time.
Even
Everything takes time.
Educated women would prefer a scammer and drug dealer.
That's because that's probably what she was accustomed to before. You see,
no, she's a follower.
Yeah, the lifestyle on social media and all that stuff. That's what's shown, the fast money. Everybody wants to be this person, that person.
I think that I think what rubbed me personally the wrong way in that conversation is I agree with Umar in a lot of situations, but when he says, I tell black women when they dealing with Caribbean or African men that they can't treat them in the same way they treat black American men, that to me makes me feel some type of way, because then my rebuttal could be, well, black women in America ain't treat me right. Let me go outside of America, give me a white girl. I could have that same rebuttal. So, that's how, when I'm like, wait a second. So they capable of, behaving and not being disrespectful, whatever the case is when they dealing with somebody else. But with me, I have to tolerate it because, again, of your poor decision making. And I wouldn't go to a conversation that me and my mom had when we talked about my father. Like, I've never met my father. I only had one conversation ever with him, probably when I was like 21, maybe. And I remember we had this conversation and you said, you know what, son, I wish I would have chose a better father for you. You know what I mean? And that was you taking accountability, like saying, like, I knew he wasn't, the most qualified at the time to be a father.
I didn't know any better.
You know what I mean?
I was looking for love in all the wrong places because I didn't understand my self-value. You understand? I didn't know what I was worth because I already had a son by a man that I thought I was so in love with, and he hurt me. So now I'm looking for and I don't know what to look for. My father was good to my mom. You understand? But he wasn't in the home either. So, I didn't have a role model. I was looking for what I thought was a role model. And this guy who, I don't know, but I'm so glad that I have this young man in my life that I was able to give birth to. But I really wish I would have had somebody to show him what a real man is. Thank God I got somebody now that does show him what a man is, because he's sticking with, he's here. He hasn't ran. He's like, no matter what we go through, I'm here. Right. Till death do us part, to for better or for worse, for sickness and health. So he's seeing that now. And that's a good thing. But yeah, sure, I wish I had made some better choices in my life.
I just want to piggyback off of your statement, because one of the things as men, when you have children, I think it's important for you to date your daughter. as they're growing up.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
you take them out.
Yes.
And you show them
and not even
how
your daughters,
supposed
your
to be treated.
nieces, your
your
nephews.
daughters, you know,
I mean, your
any young
nieces,
young
female,
female.
shut up.
when I
You know?
and when I say you're dating them, you're taking
you
them on a date
and
and
showing
letting
them
know how
their value.
exactly know their value.
Mhm.
How
What should look like?
Man should be
Yes.
treated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
open the
That woman
door,
should be
take
treated.
out the chair. You know, give them that option to order for themselves.
Yeah.
Get their opinion. Do communication. This is how relationships open.
Yeah.
Okay, so she knows what to expect
Mhm.
when
Definitely.
she goes out there and she's starting to date.
Mhm.
So she knows what she's looking for. A lot of women lack this.
They
Yes,
do.
when
They do.
they're growing up.
And that's why
Okay,
I'm very
so and that's why
sure
I said
I make sure that Elijah know you walk on my outside.
Mhm.
Why I gotta walk on the
Because
outside?
the man
No,
is
just
supposed
in
to work
case-
on the
just in case
outside.
you can push me out the way. No, you do that.
Mhm.
You know, and he's been doing it.
Yeah.
Growing.
Yeah.
That's
You have to teach him that.
And
Women
similarly,
don't
you
know
gotta
that.
treat,
They don't understand
that.
that.
You gotta
Right, that's
teach
why
the
I
young
said we
men
all
to
have
open the
roles,
door,
yeah.
hold the chair. You gotta tell the young men that. Otherwise, they
That's
don't
strange
know
for these
how
young
to
girls
do
like
this
that.
to a woman.
It's
You
strange
know,
because they
it-
never
it's
had it. They don't know what that's
young
like.
people.
They don't know what
Mhm.
just holding hands is about because they think it's about.
I do want to ask you a
you
question
know.
because I did bring up good points
Mhm.
about what you teach your son how to treat a woman.
Mhm.
But on the reverse, what are y'all teaching your daughters
Mhm.
how to treat a man? Like, what are some examples of that?
Oh well, I definitely teach my daughter. Make sure you look good, you smell good, keep your hygiene up.
Mhm.
Don't, make sure you keep you up, your mental.
Mhm.
We go through some things in our lives that a man would never understand.
Mhm.
So recognize your body talks to you. Recognize your body, because this little PMS stuff that we go through, that's some stuff they would never understand. But recognize that, and when you feel like you're getting a little crazy, leave me alone right now. Give me a couple of days. I'll be right back with you, because you got to understand that imbalance that goes on. So yeah, that's what I taught my daughter, and this is my daughter from my husband's first marriage. That's my daughter. I raised her. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that I taught her, because you catching an attitude, and you don't even know why you got an attitude, but it's because of that hormonal imbalance. So those are things that I teach my daughter. Make sure understand who you are, so that you don't flip out on that man when he's just saying hello. It's like, why you saying hello? You know, I don't know, but I recognize myself. So I try to let her know that these are things that you got to go through. You got to recognize the thing that my mother never told me. You know, she never told me that I'll have some emotional look, and this is what happens at this age. And then when you get to the stage where you don't have it no more, you go through another little phase, so about to kill somebody. It's hot up in here. So yes, I do teach my daughter these things, because she has to know. We don't stay the same. We change. As a woman, we change a lot. Men do too. And they got to recognize what they go through and share with each other. You know what I mean? I can't speak on you guys. But the things that you deal with at certain ages, you got to let each other know, yo, man, did you feel this? Do you feel like this? Yo, man, me too. So, because that's how we learn. No, it's funny, but you guys need to talk about these things too.
That's true. About those things.
Yeah.
So what are some examples? I don't know if you have daughters. Obviously, I know you have a daughter. So I can start here with you, because I know you got it. What are some things that you teach your daughter on how to treat a man, and things of that nature in a relationship?
Well, everything starts with communication. You really have to be able to talk with communicate with a man. Yes, there would be some things that he would say or do that would be offend you. Talk to him about it and stuff like that. You can't just get mad and stay mad. I'm very good at doing that. But I try not to I do. But I try to say to her, you can say, and my daughter can be very stubborn too, So there's nothing wrong with apologizing.
Apple in the tree.
So don't be afraid to apologize.
Yep.
And don't be afraid to apologize, because that's the only way that you're going to mend things, So communication is definitely key.
Lulu, what's your thoughts?
I have 2 sons, but I have a granddaughter.
Okay.
In whom I am a big influence in her life. And one of the things I do teach her, I try to keep her grounded. I try to teach her how to maintain a home, how to cook, how to stay
Definitely.
educated, how you communicate, how you meet people, how you carry yourself, how you maintain yourself. Okay. I also try to keep her diverse in learning multiple cultural things. Okay. Communicating. All right. And we argue a lot in our household, and it's okay to argue.
Voice your opinion, definitely.
Okay, because you have to have, everybody has a difference of opinion at times. Okay, and you have to know when it's time to say, okay, I agree to disagree. And if it becomes out of order, you have to learn how to step back sometimes. Okay, maybe we need to pick this up later because I'm going to say something that might really turn the lid on something. Okay, okay, and I'm very short-tempered. I'm sure Big Bro will tell you. I'm the one who'll be throwing and burning your stuff in your front yard. Okay, if you get on my nerves. But I really went to therapy for those things.
Shout out to you. Like,
Okay, I know how to control myself. That's why one of the things I'm sorry, kind of coming off plate is that one of the things that I find women and men don't do is bring closure to a previous relationship. And that's where therapy works for me. I was married for 25 years and was divorced. Okay. And it took me 3 years of therapy to figure out why I went through all of these things. And I identified what I did wrong, what they did, because you're always thinking, you're always blaming the other person. But when you're really stepping back and you're looking and then you're going through therapy, you start to identify these things. And then you could also say, you know what, these are things that I don't want to experience anymore. And then you start making lists of what you want in your life. And then you start your expectations. And this is what people need to do. Okay. And that's how you you sift through all of the stuff that you don't want to find that gem that you do want. Okay. When I went back and I honestly went through therapy for 3 years before I started dating. Okay. And every man that I've dated, I was done with them in 3 dates. We spoke on the phone, we emailed, we chatted for several weeks before we I used every form of communication. Yes, I did. Okay. We spoke on the phone. Okay. And
what y'all emailing about?
Sometimes you don't want to talk. It's late at night. I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I'm not calling you to give you an impression that I want to bully you.
What's the subject line?
It could be anything. It could be anything.
Pick up your phone.
I could be out of the country and it's inappropriate for me to be calling you and it's a different time zone. I mean, you have to put a lot of things. I communicate in many different forms. Okay. So once again, like I was saying, when you feel these people out, you can tell because they're saying one thing on the phone, saying another thing in the email, but when you're on a physical date, all they doing is
What, checking you out?
Rubbing. I'm not interested in that. Hello.
I done sent you all them emails and you not interested.
It's not about that. But that's
I done emailed you my pictures.
You already know what I look, so you already know what to expect. Okay, so there's no reason for you to be.
Thought this movie was 3D.
But back to your question. You have to teach your girls what it is and let them figure out what it is that they want for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, because you might want.
That wasn't the question.
Yes, it was. What do you do? What are you teaching your girls?
Yeah.
To treat a man.
How do you teach girls how to treat a man? That's
right, but she has to know what she wants. Wait, stop. No, she needs to know because once again, if she wants a man, okay. Say like she wants a man like you, okay? How is she gonna get a man like you if she doesn't know anything about you?
Okay.
So you have to groom her so that she learns about you, and she could appreciate you, and you guys could work together.
But
to
she
meet
already
equal
said
goals.
what she does.
Mm-hmm.
She answered the question. She's just going a little more in depth.
In depth, because
she let you know that she takes her granddaughter,
right,
and she educates her to how to cook, how to clean, because that's what's lacking in these young girls.
Because they don't know how to
can shake their tail, they
food.
can put the tightest stuff on.
Uber
But they don't know how to cook. They burn bread. Come on now,
Burn water. Burn water.
So she did answer that question.
Yeah, she did.
You know,
but my only issue is when it comes to when you ask what you teach men how to treat a woman, it's like straight to the point.
Got to give her the word. Got to give her the world.
Like, work, getting this, getting that. You got to open doors, do that.
But
hold on.
Go ahead.
When it comes to a woman now, she got to work on herself. But y'all don't say that when it comes to the men.
Oh, ask
Okay,
Elijah. He already know.
But with me, you also as a parent, as a mom, you have to set an example too. She watches you what you do. You understand what I'm saying? And then it's like basically I'll be like, not everything is given to you is free. Things come with consequences. You understand what I'm saying? And
nothing is free.
But you take care of your household, take care of your man. The man could do the same thing too. We could do it together.
Yes,
It don't have to be a woman role or a man role.
But what I do know is that for a woman, we never learned. My mother didn't teach me how to take care of, how to love a man.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. But a woman, because we were created for you. We already know.
That's what I'm saying. You already know.
We already know.
Society has proven different. No.
I get it.
No.
What are you guys looking for?
Everything that's supposed to be natural ain't natural in this generation.
We're going to get into a couple of those.
But because your thing is that you guys are good guys, but you can't find the right girl.
Right.
But then there's those women out there who are good girls and they can't find the right guy. Okay, it goes both ways because you guys are looking in the wrong places. That's what I told the young man previously. You already have a vision because you guys are always about the eye. What's appealing. You guys don't go beyond the looks. Well, at first, your first attraction is the physical appearance.
True.
Okay, but
men are willing to compromise in that department where women are not willing to compromise on finances alone.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I've always been the primary breadwinner in my household. I had no issues with it. So for you to say that statement to me is an insult. That's a lie.
I don't think that's all women, but I'm referring to a good majority of women.
Of the young people, unfortunately.
Women, you got to lead with your pockets.
Yeah.
And we just had a woman who was dealing with a guy who was married, but he was well off, and she didn't care about what other qualities he had because he was providing financially for her. And a lot of women will turn their cheek.
She cheated on his wife, and she was still with him. So she had no qualms about that.
Listen,